Hey everyone, we had a little bit of a problem with today's episode. We were missing like 3 or 4 minutes of content. It's just like a little bit was paused out of it, but it's fine. You didn't miss much. All we really talked about was the uh, Venom trailer. We said we are both excited for it. We liked the last one, and we talked about how there was a new Muppet film that was been uh, redone or being made in October. Then all you missed past that was obviously our intro, and yeah, I think one reel got missed. It was we were doing Click. Yeah, I think from there we talked about Adam Sandler. So as always, guys, enjoy the episode, and I'll see you next week.
The two dumb cousins, they're watching movies.
While I spin this other reel here,
Mm-hmm.
what is your favorite Adam Sandler film?
My favorite.
Favorite?
Uh,
I know mine. I don't. I definitely don't think it's the best, but it's my favorite.
Probably That's My Boy.
Yeah.
Just because of like the time when we were watching it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I liked Uncut Gems, but I didn't think it was as good as everybody said.
Mm.
Controversial take there, but
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Sandler was definitely really good in it, but I don't know. The message just wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did we get?
You much preferred the message that came from
That's my boy.
A teenager sleeping with his feet.
Yeah, I could relate. Well, not really, but yeah, one could
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah. We have to make the film R-rated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah. Okay. And then we also got all male cast.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not. Must have a game show plot.
I like that. Okay, that's
Yeah?
quite different. Yeah.
We could actually work with that one
Yeah.
because I feel like the last time we got must have a game show plot was Twilight.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was one of our better episodes. as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to spin for an actor, or are we like, nah, we're just gonna fuck it, let's just go for it?
Spin. Why not? Spin for an actor this
Yeah?
week. Yeah.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
we could do that.
So our click, based on a game show that's rated R, and starring Alison Brie as the main character.
Oh, that's pretty hard because it's all male. But
Yeah.
I will say this: we'll keep her as it, but then all the supporting
Oh, it's
cast.
male.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
started.
any ideas off the bat, or would you like me
Um,
to take the reins?
But if you want to take the reins, yeah, yeah.
Well, so this is obviously like a complete reboot of this isn't related to the original in any way. Maybe I don't know. We might throw Adam Sandler in there. Why not? Um, Click. Okay, I still want the whole thing to be about the remote in a
Mhm.
way, but I'm thinking kind of like a reverse Fat Albert here
Okay.
when they get like
Oh,
sucked into the TV
like
or
sucked
something.
into- Yeah, yeah,
Except he like came out of the TV.
yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in ages. Anyway,
That's a good film.
need to get back on track. Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
So Alison Brie, she's at home with like single mother, 2 kids, 2 scrappy kids, like always, you know, messing about. She's like, "Oi, Federico." She's a, she has to look after her kids. She's got like a good job, so
Mhm.
her life is very like samey, but it's also like very structured, and it's like she's doing well for herself. Like obviously, she's like, it looks a bit out of control, but she normally gets things done. You know, there's probably like a little montage at the beginning of her like sorting everything out, and it's like all the time she just like comes home and she like grabs the remote, clicks on the TV, and then there's like
Click.
Adam Sandler on like his game show. Which what should this game show be? Do you think?
Uh.
What's our I think
Hmm.
maybe it should be something to do with a remote.
Okay.
Click. what could all that's come into mind really is like a you've been framed thing, but like I don't know how that would work.
Mm.
Maybe like a Takeshi's Castle type thing. I don't know.
What they've got
Or
like. I'm thinking it's got to be something that if she ends up on this show, that it right?
yeah, she
Yeah,
got to be able to like
to use the
do
remote
something.
to her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe it's like a pointless kind of show, but then no, there's not really.
Okay.
Uh,
So I have an idea, right? So she
okay,
gets I'll like fill in the gaps after, but this is the main plot. She gets sucked into the TV,
okay,
and it's not just like the game show straight away. And she's like going through all these different channels. Maybe she's got like these fake shows that keep coming up and everything, and then she's like, "Whoa, I'm in here," and then like maybe she meets like someone who she's been like fawning after or whatever, like a guy on a TV show, and then he actually turns out to be quite like a dick or something, and then like she's like skips through all the channels, like maybe I want to go here, and then she ends up getting stuck in like the game show, and she can't change it, and like the batteries die, and then she's got to try and like beat this game show to get the batteries to like escape.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, all right.
I
So
like that.
yeah, so she's
Also, it's rated R. So, are we thinking like violence, or is it just gonna be like just swearing?
yeah, actually, maybe yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think she should uh so she gets on like the show and it's like maybe it's quite late at night and like maybe she was watching TV with like her sons or something. They fell asleep next to her, and then like at one point she's like banging the TV like, "Hey, let me out" and all that. But it's like one of those late night shows, and it's like one that people don't really watch, and it's
Yeah.
like they can get away with anything because it's just like thing, and it's
Like
really
Conan
like
or-
bloody and gruesome and all that, and
Yeah. Like if Eric Andre was like real.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. Can it be hosted by? Oh no, it's by Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
He can
that.
make an appearance.
Yeah. I just like it. I just love Eric Andre. I think
Yeah.
he's underrated. All right. Cool.
So
So
I'll go back to the beginning. So she's like, it's her life, you know. She's her one thing is she just loves like coming in from work and just like watching the TV like at night after like a long day. She's like she can always fall back on TV. It's like
yeah.
it's just her thing. It's like her time. And then
Okay.
so maybe like she's like there's a scene in her office and like these two like guys that she doesn't really like are just talking and she's like listening in the back because I don't know, she's maybe like an outsider at work. She doesn't really speak to anyone, she keeps to herself, but she like wants to get in on people's conversations. So like she
Yeah.
hears two guys talking about like the game show that she'll later be on, and then
Yeah.
he's like, dude, I stayed up last night, I smoked so much pot, and I ended up staying up like bloody, and there was this crazy show on with like what's a give me an Adam Sandler esque name, like a character
Uh,
of his. 'Cause he's got
uh,
like Sandy Wexler and Donnie Berger,
yeah.
all that kind of like
I was actually gonna say Sandy with with Johnny Trumpets.
yeah. The trumpet variety hour with Johnny Trumpet.
Nice. Yeah, that
Let's call
works.
it that. That's like we'll keep the name Click, but yeah. So the Johnny Trumpet Variety Hour or the Trumpet Variety Hour. He's like, yeah, it was crazy, man. I needed to like make sure that I just wasn't tripping balls. He's like, nah, they wouldn't let that on TV. Like, what you want about? He's like, no, dude, trust me, it's on at like 2:30 a.m. every night, and it's so
Yeah.
crazy. And like, she's like, oh, I'd never watch that. Like, that sounds like like disturbing.
Like
And then
stupid.
she says it
Yeah.
like under her breath, and then the guy goes, "Oh, what's that? Is Janet talking? Whoa, I've never heard her
Yeah.
talk before. Oh my god!" Oh. She's like, "Well, you know, I'd rather watch like a normal show, like And then the guy cuts in and he's like, "Oh, what? You'd
Like
rather
Grey's
watch like
Anatomy.
bloody something like that, yeah." but it's like they don't say the actual name because I was gonna
'Cause
try think of
copyright.
like something. I was
Yeah.
gonna say something along the lines of Game of Thrones, but like
Yeah.
uh, uh chariots masquerade or I don't know.
Yeah. Or instead of Bridgerton, they're watching.
Towerland.
Yeah. Or I'm trying to come up with one, but my brain is. Give me any popular show.
Riverdale.
Lakemore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's
Actually
say
sounds
she
like a show.
watches
Yeah.
a Lakemore,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, what the hell, Lakemore? That's get away from us. Get better taste in a show." And
Realize
like,
you're a 14-year-old girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to set them up because maybe there's like scenes like where it cuts between loads of people, different people watching it and stuff,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
those
no, I
two
like
will
that.
be watching it like high out of their
Like-
mind, and they're like, "Oh my, is that Janet or whatever?" But yeah. So she goes home. She's like, she's had like a rough day. Like one of her kids has been like fighting at school. He's like been getting bullied, and he's finally fought back. And then
Yeah.
like the school is trying to punish him for it. And then like the other one is like, I don't know. He's like in very Adam Sandler style. Maybe he's different in that he's
Yeah.
gay or whatever.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And like she's struggling to deal with that, even though she's a girl. I don't know. It's an Adam
Yeah,
Sandler
yeah,
plot line.
yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
like
Oh,
push it over.
the son who is being bullied and who finally fought back.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't like believe that he was being bullied or something. Like she's not a bad mother, but she's not putting in like the like her due diligence, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like maybe there was a in the morning. She said she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like, just if he ever picks on you, just walk away. It's fine." And then like he finally hit back this time, and then
Yeah.
they're blaming the mother, and he's like, "Nah, she didn't tell me to do nothing," and all that.
Sarah.
Yeah.
And like so maybe she went to school with the kid's dad
Uh-huh.
or something. No, she went to school with the kid's mum.
Mhm.
And knows of the dad, and then like they're like, so she has to leave work early to go pick him up from the office because he's been told off.
Yeah.
The thing, and the principal's like, this can't run.
Yeah.
What's going on? We won't accept this here at the school. And the dad's like, oh, my boy here is a model student, blah 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 blah, and I won't have this little boy, like bullying my son.
Yeah.
And she's very much just like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll handle this at home.
Yeah.
And then that dad shows up later on the game show.
Oh, okay.
But like then this dad on the game show is a very like violent.
Yeah. So, so that happens, and she's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like, I know you've had a tough day at school. Like tonight, we'll just cuddle up on the couch and watch Lakemore. Like new episodes out this week. They're like, oh yeah, why not? Let's watch it. Yeah. And so, I'm watching that, and like the kids fall asleep, and like she's like nodding off as well, and maybe she's like holding a coffee or something. It like falls on the remote, and she's like, oh shit! Like just rubbing it down. Then the remote like sparks a little bit, like little jingle plays, or whatever.
Like Back to the Future kind of.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, I better go like wipe this down or whatever. The remote falls on the floor, more sparks happen. She's like comes back in, like wiping herself down, and then like the TV's like just keeps changing, just keep flicking channels or whatever. And she picks up the remote, she's like, oh damn thing, shouldn't have got it wet or whatever. Just like hits it some more, and then bam, sucked in, all that crap. No, and then channel just stops. And then like on Looney Tunes, not Looney Tunes, Space Jam, and like the kids like watching it, and they're like, that's dad.
But
maybe that will happen later on, but yeah. So she's like ends up, I don't know. Let's say she's in Lakemore straight away.
Okay.
That's like the first show she ends up in.
Oh, what if there's a cat? That's like, wait, does she take the controller in with her, or is the controller?
Yeah, the controller, because it's in her hand, and she's like, she finds out that like she can change the channel and stuff.
Oh yeah, because the battery, the toy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a dickhead. Yeah.
What was you gonna say about the cat?
Oh, I was gonna say because I was like, if the cat's on the out, no, if if the remote's on the outside, maybe the thing that was changing the channel is like the cat walking along the sofa.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And you just see her like flash through all these different shows, and she's like, "Ah, what's going on?" But no, it makes more sense for her to have it, because then otherwise, why would she be paying for batteries?
yeah.
Yeah,
So she ends up in Lakemore. She's like, "What? Am I on the set of Lakemore?" And then like, the West Side mooses
um,
come
yeah,
along on their motorcycles and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, lady, you're in
yeah.
moose territory now." And she's like, "Whoa, I'm sorry. What? What's going on? Am I dreaming?" They're like, "Just
Yeah.
if you think you're gonna like fly
Talk
through
your way out of
here,
this one,
yeah."
toots. Yeah,
And then like bloody Richie comes along. He's like, "Hey,
yeah.
don't talk to her like that. She's a respectful woman." Like,
And then Cutface comes along.
yeah. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't degrade women like this," and all that. And they're like, "What?" She's like, "Wow, you." But
Thanks.
just seems like they're just trying to like screw her. To be fair,
yeah.
so they're like the mooses were like go off. They're like, "Oh, whatever. You get your day, Richie and Cutface." uh,
Wait, what's that? Yeah, sorry.
so like they're like, "Oh, come back to Granddad's with us,"
Yeah.
and then so they're like, "We can get some strawberry milkshakes and everything." And she's like, "Oh, I'd like that, thank you." Yeah, she just thinks she's having a dream at the minute. She's like, "Yeah, why not?" And then she's there with them two, and then they're getting like really touchy with her. And she's like, well, okay, I don't know how I feel about this because they're supposed to be teenagers, but they're clearly in their 30s." So, and then maybe like they go back to Richie's house or whatever, and then she like comes it. She's like sitting on the couch, and they both come in with their shirts off or whatever. They're like, "All right, you ready for us?" And she's like,
Oh.
sure." And then like maybe the remote, she like picks it up out of her pocket because it sparks or something. She's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" And then she changes the channel, and it
Okay.
changes onto, I don't know. Take it from here. I've spoke for quite a while.
Okay. So then it changes her to the show of Lake. No, we just came from there. Of what was the of Red's surgery,
Okay.
and she's like sat, and she's like, "What the hell? What's going on?" And it's just like sirens blaring, and like all these doctors come through, and they're like, "Move, move! We've got a woman here who she's heartbroken." And she's like, "What the hell is going on here?" And it's just like, and she's just walking around like room to room. And so she goes up to the help desk, and she's like, "Hi, where am I?" And they go, "You don't know where you are." They're like, "You're at Reds, you know, the best medical center on the West Coast, or whatever." And everything's got like a in it kind
Yeah,
of like,
the theme song starts playing like every time one of these people say the name of the show.
yeah. And like she looks up, and she's like, "What the hell? Is no one else hearing that?" And they're like, "Hearing what?" And she like turns around, and it's like, do you know what, it's like, you know that episode of It's Always Sunny, and it's like the guys try to win an award, and they go
Oh
to the
yeah.
other bar, and they're like, "Oh, I'm really invested in this couple over here."
Yeah.
So she's like walking through this hospital, and there's like there's like a man with like COVID or something maybe, and he's like coughing and spluttering. He's like, "I really need some help." And so there's a doctor there, and the nurse is like taking his pulse, like the patient.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, "You're doing that awfully well over there." And she's like, "Oh, I thank you. You know, I learned from the best." And they just look up at each other, like time freezes. Like the man between them is just. And what's the mum's name again?
Janet.
Janet.
Yeah.
And Janet's just there, like, "What the hell? What's going on?" It doesn't feel like any of these doctors are taking their work seriously. And like, so like she's like peering through like a surgery window at this, and she turns around and bumps into a guy, and she's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Ting. and he's like the hottest doctor in this place, and he's
Right,
played by
yeah.
like, Pete Davidson or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
someone who's like very not conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where we get all the hate mail from the Pete Davidson stan.
Damn.
And he's just like, oh, you know, you look like a wicked cool lady, you know. And like it goes through this whole like them on their first date and everything, and it's all like sweet. It's like a little montage
Yeah.
of like them going bowling and being like, oh, ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And then it shows her like and him together sat outside in the car, and you can see that she's like really nervous, and he like puts his hand on top of her hand, and it's all silent as well, you know. It's like real thing, and like they go in and they meet his parents and everything, and they're like ah ha 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 ha, and like the dad starts choking, and then she just happens to know CPR, hits him with that CPR, not CPR, the Heimlich
Yeah.
maneuver. Yeah. He's choking. Hits him with the Heimlich and whatnot, and then it cuts to her, and she gets up and she like goes and throws up, and she's like, ugh. And then it cuts to him like pacing back and forth, and she comes out of the bathroom and she's holding a pregnancy test.
Oh no.
And she's like, and then it cuts to them like at the ultrasound, and they like look at the belly and everything, and then it cuts to them like looking really sad
Oh,
because like the baby's been lost.
Jesus.
Then it like cuts to that, and you can see like they're still together, but like clearly something's died, not unlike their baby.
Oh, you
So they're like in the same bathroom, like stood next to each other, just brushing their teeth
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And you see them like walk past the nursery that was painted one color, but they've started like painting over it in grey again, or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And like they're both at work. She's like a janitor, or maybe she works in the cafeteria or something. Yeah, in the cafeteria. And like he used to like smile at her while she'd give him his food, and she goes to do it again, and it's not the same, you know.
Whoa.
And then he slips and cracks his head open. And he's like,
Jesus.
oh. sorry. And like she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You know, things have been like this the last few. I mean, this is all like without speech. You know, I've missed you. I love you so much. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And like she helps like nurse him back to health. And like because all the doctors there see how good of a job she's doing, they're like, you know what? Hey, you can just be a nurse here. now."
Yeah.
So she gets a job as a nurse at the hospital. You know, the spark is back.
Yeah.
And turns out like but she's pregnant again, this time with twins.
Oh.
And like they give birth to the twins, and they're sat at the baby shower and everything. And they're like, oh, this is so brilliant. Oh. Ah, ha, 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 ah, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, oh, what's on TV? And they pick up the remote to switch the channel.
Jesus. That would be so traumatizing. My God, she had like a whole life. Oh.
And they clip it, and she wakes up, and she's in like fucking Jurassic Park or some shit.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, can we put
And
her
she-
in like some cartoon actually after that? And they're
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
yeah.
woman, what are you doing?" Whoa, just started being like wacky and shit. She's like, "Where's my babies? Where's my husband?" She's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, babies? Oh, whoa, I don't know anything about that." It just
And she just starts like punching the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Where are my kids?
it just like cuts to like some random little girl watching the thing, just screaming like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And then like that maybe gets taken off air or something. It's like, "Please wait," and they're like, "Oh, for God's sake,
Technical
woman."
difficulties.
Yeah, like we've
Yeah.
never had this happen before. We've been like stayed like true to our thing, and then maybe they all like get her or whatever, and she's like has to run, and now she's like stuck in this. Oh, maybe what it is, right? She doesn't have the controller all the time,
Okay.
but that's how she gets. So like maybe, or sometimes she gets like it gets lost. So now that's why she had like the whole life there and stuff. And or she didn't figure it out until after that, and now like she's being hunted down by all these cartoon characters and that, and she's like goes full Rambo on them and starts
Yeah,
like
really-
hide.
Outside of the game show, I really like the idea of like a human stuck in a Looney Tunes
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
and they have to hunt down all of them to. Oh, that'd be hard. Actually. Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
maybe they took the remote off her, and they're like, "Oh, this is the I don't know. They call it some.
Ooh,
They start
hey.
worshiping it and
Yeah.
stuff like because this is from the outside world and all that. Because like everything's cartoon apart from her and the remote there. So like, oh, it's 3-dimensional. Wow. And then like now she's got to like break into this like Looney Tunes-esque temple and start kicking the crap out of all these cartoon characters. And it's really violent and stuff.
Yeah.
And she
Like a
finally
real
gets it.
Kingsman
She's like,
type.
yeah, changes the channel. And then it's just like this is when it gets stuck, and it
Yeah.
starts flicking through everything. She's like, "Oh, I like this show." Changes. She's in like, she's now on like an
Yeah.
American football game or something, and they're
Yeah.
like all charging at her because she's got the ball, and then bam, changes again. She's now in like I don't know, hit me with one.
Euphoria, and it's just like teens doing drugs and being transsexual and stuff.
And she's just like, "Can't be doing that. What the hell?" My son.
Yeah, drugs are bad. That's what Cameron meant.
Yeah. And then bang, changes again. She's in like I don't know, like EastEnders or something. She's just
Yeah.
in the pub, and then like a fight breaks out. Like, "Get out of the pub," all that, and maybe she's American or whatever, and she's like, what is this? All this Britishness? And Phil Mitchell comes in, like goes to crack her over the head with a bottle, and then she changes again, and then she finally lands on Donny Trumpet's
Variety hour.
Variety Hour. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God. She's like, I've had enough of this. Like, I need to get out. How do I leave? She looks at the remote. She sees like the eject button or something because it's I don't know,
Yeah.
multi remote. She's like, yeah, I'll press that. That might work, or maybe I'll turn it off or something. It might take me out.
I'll turn it off and on again. Yeah.
Yeah, presses it, nothing happens. Presses again, nothing happens. Changes, tries to change channel, nothing happens. She's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Takes out the batteries, like like when the remote stopped
Yeah.
working, you start like.
Yeah. Like, rub it and
Yeah.
bang it and yeah.
And she's like, no, nothing's working. And then she realizes she's like, the place was quite dark. And she's just like standing on a podium. She's like, what the hell?
Again.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Gentlemen.
welcome to Donny Trumpet's Variety Hour. And it's like in front of a live studio audience and stuff, but the live studio audience is like everyone at home. So it's like everyone who's watching the show, which is like this the two guys from our office who like smoking weed and stuff, like from behind, like, dude, this is it, this is the show.
Yeah.
And then Adam Sandler balls out like, how you doing? I'm really Donny Trumpet here. We got a really good show for you tonight. And everyone's like, maybe there's I don't know, there's a catchphrase that everyone says, like, remember, if it ain't tootin', don't touch the trumpet. So, would you like to take it from here?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
were talking-
No,
you were
I'm
talking
not in the
to
show.
you. Okay, yeah. So he's so maybe just before the show like begin. No, so where is she now?
She's on the show. She's like, oh, like the show's
Wait,
like,
is she on the stage? Or is
yeah.
she-
But maybe she could
Okay.
be behind a curtain or something if you want. But
Yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe so. Like she just figures out that whatever's going on, she's like, oh, I'm out of batteries or something. I need. And then she's like, where the hell can I get batteries? And he's like, you know what's up for grabs tonight? And I'm like, what's up for grabs tonight? He's like, some batteries. Hey. gotta doobie doobie. So she's like, that's it. That's how I'll get out of here.
yeah.
I'm gonna blend in. I'll win the batteries, and then I can.
Leave.
And yeah. So, sorry, something just went bang in my kitchen.
It's alright.
So he's like, let's introduce you to our contestants. So maybe like, one of them is backstage, and he's like really nervous, and he's like pacing back and forth. He's like, and she's like, hey there, buddy, can I just talk to you? So like she picks up a lanyard and a clipboard, and she's like, hey, sorry, you're supposed to be coming on from the other entrance. If you just want to follow me, and she takes the guy, and like knocks him out and just, like steals his contestant thing or whatever. So they introduced all the contestants, and it's like that guy's dad from earlier, and someone else,
Yeah.
and her, and she comes out, but like Vanilla and Alex Jones, or, that's that crazy dude, or well, and she comes
Yeah.
out, and they're like, oh, okay, and then it cuts to the guys getting like who are hired, and they're like, isn't that like one chick that we work with? And they're like, who's Sheila? And I'm like, nah, Sheila looks different. It's like, I tell you what, I like Sheila. She makes the best cake. Yeah, you know what? I haven't had a good cake in ages. Like maybe like some red velvet or like a chocolate fudge cake. Oh, carrot cake's underrated. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like it cuts back to the thing, and they're like, all right, everyone, you know how the game works. If it's spinning, you don't be winning. Ha! And she's like, what's going on? Like it's a very like nonsensical.
Yeah.
You know like when you see like footage of like Japanese game shows
Yeah.
online, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Mm.
It's like that. And they're like, okay, so you know what you have to do? Is everyone ready? 3, 1, 2, go! Ah! And she's just like, and like everyone's all doing different stuff,
Yeah.
like throwing bits and bobs, and she's like, so she goes up to the guy's dad, and she's like, Rich, what is it that I have to do? I'm sorry, I'm new. I don't actually know what's going on. He's like, shut up, you bitch. She like punches him in the throat. No, he punches her in the throat.
Yeah.
And she's just there like, what? And then they turn around, and everyone else is like fighting for these parts. So it's like you've got to put together this like Tetris puzzle thing
Mm.
everyone has, and whoever does it last gets killed and eliminated from the show. But there's like a finite amount of, you know, like how in musical chairs, like there's like just enough so that one person won't make it. It's
Yeah.
like that. There's like a finite number of pieces, so you have to like fight each other for it and shit like that. So she takes off like her high heels she's still got on from work or something, and she's like
Yeah.
bludgeoning people and stuff like that.
Mm.
And she just about manages to get it, and then the guy who like she swapped places with or whatever stumbles onto the stage, and he's like, is this the way thing? And the floor just drops out, and him and the other guy get killed.
Oh.
And I'm like, who would our contestants like to make their way over to the next room, please? And like they go over, and she's like, whoa, just what the hell was that? And like the dad just switches, and he's like, oh, sorry, you know how the game show is, you know, blah 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 blah. He's very like,
Yeah.
yeah. Is it anyway? All the best out there. You don't break a leg. Not if I break it first. I don't break it first. What's the next event?
So, maybe they have to do something with. All I've got in my head is food. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure. So, maybe they have to do like a bake-off type thing, but they've
Okay.
only got like 3 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, now it's time for 3-minute bakes. You know how this one works. Grab your ingredients, make something in 3 minutes, but be careful because the big trumpet will come round and he'll sabotage you. And
Yeah.
so like she's like, okay, this doesn't sound too bad. And then oh, you know how it is. We'll give you 30 seconds to grab your ingredients, and then after that 30 seconds is up, you got 3 minutes to make everything. She's like, all right, I do this. I make my kids' lunches in like quicker time. So then they're like, ready, 3, 2, 1, go, and they've started running, and like these ingredients are like just things that,
Non-practical.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
half the stuff wouldn't go together. Like a lot of the stuff is like ain't even like food as well. Yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? And then so she just grabs any old thing. She goes to like, I don't know, maybe she goes for like the most edible things possible.
Okay.
And then like the other guy's like, here are you going for that, stupid bitch? Well, why would you do that? Like, come on, you should seriously not know how the goddamn show works. Come on. She's like, he's shoving her out the way, like grabbing all us like stuff that she's about to grab or anything. And then like, right, the 30 seconds is up. Let's get ready to cook. And then like some big trumpet, like mascot has come round and he's like, oh no, here he is, it's the trumpet. And he's like, starts, I don't know. He goes over to Janet and he goes to her table and he's like dancing around and stuff. Like, she thinks, oh, you're not going to put me off with that. And then afterwards, he just comes in and just like grabs it, chucks it at the wall behind her, and she's like, what the fuck? Why the hell would you do that? And then he goes, whatever, just like dancing around in that. She's like, oh, I fucking hate this show. I wish I could change the channel. And then so she goes back, grabs the ingredients, and like Donnie's like, hey, you can't be grabbing more ingredients. And she's like, but he just threw my shit in the wall. 1 minute, no, 2 minutes remaining. Come on. She's like, for God's sake. And then so she just grabs off of like his table, and he's like, yeah, now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. And they're like fighting over the like same ingredients now to make some something just edible. And then the trumpet comes over, starts like chucking like, I don't know. Maybe at the start of the show they were like, oh, tell us one thing, like one interesting fact about you and one allergy you have, or whatever, and all that. They all give it like something different. And maybe the guy says, oh, I have a peanut allergy or whatever. Or maybe it was alluded to like earlier in the film or something, like when they were together. And then I don't know, the trumpet comes over and just grabs him by the neck and just starts jamming peanuts down his throat and all that. And he's like, what the hell is she? Janet's like, oh my God. And she like kind of kicks him off. And then he's like, no, you can't do this. You can't throw him off. Do you know how, you seriously don't know how the game works? And even while he's like dying pretty much with his peanut allergy, he's still like fighting to be the best in this game.
You stupid bitch.
Yeah. And then so she's like, whatever, I'll carry on. And then, I don't know, the trumpet grabs like a spear, 1 minute remaining, and chucks a spear, and it misses her like shoulder. And she's like, what the fuck is up with this show? And then, I don't know, she keeps throwing stuff in, puts it in like the microwave for like 30 seconds, takes it out, and then time. That's it. She throws it on the plate. And then Donnie Trumpet comes over and he's like, so let's see what the contestants have made. We've got Jerry over here, and he's just like twitching on the floor, like, I need my EpiPen. And then Donnie's like, well, this one's a sore loser or whatever. And then goes over to Janet, and then he goes, let me try some of this. And then he chucks it like out the wall behind her and says, we have a winner. Next, you'll be going on to the final round. Hey! And then they move over to the other round. She's like, this is fucking so weird.
Yeah.
And then, so, I don't know, there's nothing, she goes into the next one, and there's nothing too, like, strange about it. She's just, like, in a room, there's, like, a massive board behind her. And then, Donnie's like, so, now it's time for everyone's favourite part of the show, the final round. Are you ready, Alex? And then, she's like, I guess. And then they're like, all right, go. And she's just standing there, and she's like, what do I do?
And ding, 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 ding. Congratulations, you've won.
Oh, I wasn't going to go there.
No? Oh, sorry, wait. Oh, where were you going to go?
Release the toddlers. And then
okay.
like,
yeah, that's better.
60 toddlers come out and just start like running at her. She's like, oh my God, what the hell? And then they're all like jumping at her and stuff, and she's like, ah. Donnie's just laughing. The audience are all laughing, like, toddlers. And they're like, what the? She's like, what the fuck is wrong with this? What do I do? And Donnie's like, you gotta fight them. And she's like, I'm not gonna fight kids. And then like they all start punching them, and then it just turns out they're all just midgets. Like they're actually grown ass people.
Like in that episode of fucking Close Enough, and they're not.
Yeah,
kids,
yeah. And then so she's like, wait, so she realizes because like one of them's like, come on, lady, fight back. And she's like, oh, maybe she's like, no, she doesn't want to. And then you just see it like change over in her face, and it was like kind of the same thing where like when she was in that cartoon world, she's like, and she maybe rips one in half, and they're like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. They're like, how is this like bloody 30-odd-year-old woman like done that? And then she just goes crazy, bloody, I don't give a damn about my reputation that's played in the background or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like,
she,
yeah.
like
Oh,
throwing them
oh.
against the walls and stuff. Donnie's like, yeah, kill them damn midgets or whatever. And then she's like getting down to like the last few. It's all bloody and everything, and then she does it. She like overpowers them all. She's like, I've done it. Give me my fucking prize. And she's like, you thought that was it?
The
know.
real final round.
He's like,
she
we
just,
actually
smashes
know.
a bottle.
Yeah. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Give me those
Yeah.
goddamn batteries. Now, Janet. And she's like, that's not my name. I'm Alex. Donnie's like, you really think I'm that stupid?
Yeah.
My name is Donnie Trumpet. It's Carlos Alvin or whatever.
Nice.
I've been stuck in this goddamn TV show for 20 damn years, and now I can finally fucking get out. Give me that goddamn remote. And so now she's like fighting him pretty much for the remote. Like she's running backstage to try to find the batteries. He's going everywhere, but this is all still televised and stuff. And everyone's like, Donnie. And because they all think it's just a part of the show or whatever. But he's actually wanting to get out. Like he's gone mental from the show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea of like they're running around and fighting across this entire studio.
Yeah.
And then it will like cut to the audience. Just staring at like an empty set. And they're like,
Oh yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah. Please be back. And then maybe like the same thing happens as like the things like technical difficulties show up and they're like, you know what you've done, you should have stayed on the damn stage. She's like, yeah, but we could both get out. Just give me the controller. She's like, no, someone needs to be Donnie Trumpet. Someone needs to stay on this show. And she's like, oh, well, I've got a family to go back to. He's like, so have I. I haven't seen my kids in ages. My kid was 5 when I was here. Now he's like 25. Please, just let me go. He's like, why? She just doesn't understand why they can't go together. Like, she goes, they'll find me. They'll come. They'll cancel the show, which means I'll be cancelled too. And I don't want that. And she's like, she just loses it. She can't take it anymore. And she just like punches him, just keep punching him in the face. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And she knocks him out. She's like, I'm sorry, but you have to stay here. This isn't happening. Like, I need to get out of this hellhole. She maybe finds the batteries and that. And like, they're backstage and she finds one. And then she's like, oh, one's going to have to do for now. Tries it, like wipes the other one. Tries to click the eject button, but maybe like all the buttons are like kind of wrong now. And it's all like malfunctioned a little bit. Well, maybe because one's dead and it's not registering properly. So then like he comes in and he's like, I've got the other battery. And she's like, no. And she just keeps pressing any button and they both change channel. Now they're in like, bloody, what was it called? The Riverdale show again.
Oh yeah, Lakemore.
Yeah, Lakemore.
Oh
and then
yeah, okay, yeah. So
it's
that
like
fight,
cutting back
it's,
through.
like, jumping through all the shows.
Yeah. And then, so like she's back in their living room and they're like, oh, there you are, baby. She's like, oh, damn. And then Carlos or Donnie, as you will, he's like, no, get us out of here, get us home. And then just like beating up those guys. And then people were watching that show like, oh my God, Jesus, is that Donnie Trumpet? Oh, get there. And then they change channel again. This time they bring the other two with them. And then they're in they go to the cartoon one first. They're like, it's the 3D, get them. And then all these like cartoon characters are fighting them. Then like they bring like 3 with them to the next show. And then they're back in the hospital one. And then the guy's like, oh my God, Janet, you're here. Where have you been? We've missed you so much. The kids have been growing up. Like, well, I was gonna. Maybe someone else walks in. It's like another woman, and he's like, "Oh, it's not what you think. I thought you were dead. I was gonna remarry. You know, I couldn't raise the kids alone." She's like, "But this was our family." And then Donnie's like, "You do realize this is a goddamn TV show, right?
Yeah.
This goddamn show took my time slot. I was supposed to be on at this time." And he's like, starts fighting the guy, and then she's like, "Oh, get off my husband," or whatever. And then the other girl's like, "Oh, you get off my husband," or not really, not my husband. Like, stay away, he's mine, you bitch.
Yeah.
And then like the cartoon characters are like fighting the Riverdale people, and it's all going crazy. And then she's like, she presses the button, and then turns off. It's just a pew. and then, like everybody's TVs who's watching turns off, and they're like, what the
Yeah.
hell? What's happened here? Would you like to round us out?
You motherfucker. You always hit me with these crazy. You paint yourself into this corner. Ha! You know, this podcast should be called like "And Then" or something.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So you know, what? Let's keep it like very similar to Click then.
Yeah.
And she wakes up like so the screen goes black. It's like
Yeah.
and she's like sat on her sofa
Mhm.
again, and the cat's all up with her and like meow
Yeah.
and stuff like that. She's like, oh, was it all just a dream? So what the hell was I? Oh, okay, I need to lay off the sauce, you know. Like she gets up and she sees her little boy there, and she's like, oh, she picks him up, like scoops him up. She like starts walking off to the thing, upstairs,
Yeah.
and the controllers just like it starts sparking,
Oh.
and then you hear the TV like turn on, and you hear, I'm gonna get out of here.
Click.
Yeah. Let's go. And like as the credits are going, there's like bloopers and shit on the side.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, stupid shit like that.
Yeah. Throwing midgets about and all that.
Yeah.
Cartoon characters are all saying their lines wrong. Like, oh my god, like Toy Story.
Like Toaster. Did you know, like as a kid, I never gave that much thought.
Yeah.
That means that they went in and like animated bloopers.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
But yeah, that was
So, yeah.
mental.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd expect nothing less from us.
I like the thought of like maybe they all end up in the same show. Like she
Yeah.
gets out, but they're all like stuck on the Doctor show or something. And then it's like maybe that's the after credit sheet. It's like now welcome back to whatever Red Hospital
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
What if they've all been smushed together? So the
Yeah.
the Red's Hospital of Lakemore. Yeah.
It was like everyone thinks it's a crossover, but it's just like no, it's just like the normal show now. It's like it's not even a crossover. Nobody like thinks
Yeah.
about it, and it's like oh, you're doing that really well there, Doctor, and it just cuts to like the cartoon character like thanks, baby. Yeah, you could really stand to learn a thing or two. Then like cuts to Donny Trumpet in the surgical room. Like someone hand me a scalp. Then like the two like guys are like they end up being gay or whatever. Like
Yeah.
and then yeah, that's just it. And I'll tune in next week for another Red Hospital. And it just
Okay.
ends.
Kachiga, we've done it again.
Yeah, we've reinvented the reel.
Someone needs to stop us, man. We're getting scarily good at this.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, people could come here and they could take our ideas. Like
Yeah, that's true.
big
But you know
Hollywood
what?
man could come and take our ideas without bloody thing. That's
That's
one
the
thing
stuff.
that generally scares me. Is like I don't think we're gonna be with that big anyway. But
Yeah, no, but like, what if?
What
it's
if?
like that film, innit? Big Fat Liar.
we're just like this seems like really similar to like there could be one thing. It's just it could be just a coincidence, but
Like,
you never know. Like
I was realistically, if any of our stuff so far, like it would probably be like things like Scooby Doo or something.
yeah, that would piss me off so
Oh,
much.
My
People
God,
would not hear the
you
end
would
of that.
not hear the end of that every week. Hey, do you remember our Scooby Doo episode? we did? It was fucking-
Stolen by bloody Ryan
but
Johnson
yeah.
or whatever.
oh, Ryan fucking Johnson. Fuck off! I'm gonna make some more Benoit Blanc detective films.
Yeah, why can't you steal that? Why do you have to be Scooby Doo?
Bell end.
Anyway, with that,
Yeah, sorry.
I've been Curtis.
I've been Cameron.
I
you
will
next week,
see you next week.
I like how casually we just do that.
Yeah.
See if anyone's really paying attention.
Yeah.
Alright, see you next week.
See you next week.